Alright, there we go. We're recording. It is day, what day is it? Day 8. Welcome, hello and welcome to day 8 of the Non-Essential Podcast. It is my daily little diary entries of Lockdown 2 here in Melbourne. Just giving you guys a little bit of, a little half-hour little glimpse of my day, and or random thoughts about random topics. I hate the word random has been just so overused that whenever I hear it, I kind of, I cringe a little bit, and I cringed a little bit saying it myself just then. What has happened today? I'm doing this a little bit earlier today, actually, than I have done. Certainly, over the last few days. I'm doing this at 6:30 p.m, about an hour earlier than I've been doing it over the last few days. Because I don't know, it's just, I think I said this yesterday, this whole thing is becoming a pain in the ass. It's day 8 of a 42-day lockdown, hopefully only 42 days. And yeah, I've done it every day so far. Can't really be fucked continuing to do it, but it's a little goal of mine. It's like a little game between me and time right now. So I'm going to continue to put these out every day until lockdown is over. So because to actually put one of these together, it's like a 3-hour process, and I've been doing it at 7:30 the last few days, and finally getting kind of the finished product, the finished episode up on YouTube, at around about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So I thought, let's just fucking crank it out an hour earlier, maybe get it up an hour earlier, and yeah, so that's what we're doing today. One thing I wanted to touch on today was, we had our daily kind of press conference today about the whole sort of COVID situation here in Victoria, and I think she's the health minister, Jenny Mikakos, got up there and sort of answered a few questions. She came. I don't know. Did she come under fire? I don't know if she came under fire for some tweets that she sent out, sort of a few days ago, which, from what I saw, they weren't really. They were kind of the tweets of a tired individual. Nothing really sort of controversial or anything like that. I think she was just very apologetic about sort of the state we're in here at the moment, and she got asked a couple of questions about that today, because I think she sent out like a string of them, and so one of the journos asked her about it, and I'm just sort of listening to it, and this is the main thing that kind of stuck out to me today. I was kind of doing a bit of cleaning at the same time as trying to listen to this press conference, so I didn't really take much of it in. But I did pause for a little bit when they started asking her these questions about her tweets, because I'm like, what the fuck are you journos doing? Yeah, she sent out a few fucking tweets that look like she's, a little bit tired, a little bit stressed. And do you fucking blame her? She's got to come to a fucking press conference and answer fucking stupid questions like this from people like you, when, people are fucking dying and getting infected with this virus left, right, and fucking center. You know what I mean? So what? She sent out a couple of fucking tweets. Like I said, do you fucking blame her? She's got a bit on her fucking plate. She's probably stressed. Probably hasn't really slept. Let's just talk about the fucking case numbers and how we're gonna get this down so life can go back to normal. You fools at this press conference every day. Give her a fucking break. She's doing what a lot of people do these days and express their thoughts and their feelings on social media, including probably yourself. Whichever fucking journalist it was that asked the question. Was it you, Samaya? That's why these fucking journalists are becoming stars. I went to high school with a girl named Samaya, so I hope it's not her asking these silly questions. I'm pretty sure she's a primary school teacher though, so yeah. You're listening to the Non-Essential Podcast. It's about as essential as a nightclub MC. So it is day 8 in lockdown 2 here in Melbourne. But more importantly than that, it is August the 10th. Why is that important, Maddie? You might be saying to yourself, is it your birthday? Happy birthday if it is. No, it's not. It's not my birthday. My birthday is June 25th. But August the 10th is a date that for the last 18 years has been synonymous with me. It's one that I see on the calendar, or if I happen to kind of look at my phone and look at the date or you know, whatever the case may be, and I see it's August 10th, I'm like, oh, August 10th. Today marks 18 years since the WWE returned to Australia after many years of not being here. I think before that they were here in like the 80s or something like that. But yeah, they did a big event at Marvel Stadium, which back then was called Colonial Stadium. And it was their first big event in Australia for years, and I went to it. And it was 2002. I was in year 12, and I went there with my younger brother, who was probably maybe 12 or 13 at the time, and my dad, who was not a wrestling fan at all. And it was great. You know, we had terrible seats. Probably, I reckon we were around about maybe 8 rows from the roof. But you know, the way that sort of Marvel is designed, it's there's not really a bad seat in the house. We still could see everything that was going on. So yeah, it's just it's a date I always remember fondly when I see it on the calendar. The main event was a triple threat match between Triple H, Brock Lesnar, and The Rock, who I think The Rock came in as the champ and he left as the champ. They weren't going to drop the belt on a non-televised show on the other side of the world. But there we were, a packed Colonial Stadium, Marvel Stadium now. 60,000 or so rabid wrestling fans enjoying the show. Some of the highlights, Rey Mysterio, I think, was just fucking flying around like he does. And I really only sort of remember him and the main event, the triple threat match. All the other matches I don't really remember at all. I do remember though when Brock Lesnar was coming to the ring, and my dad kind of leaning over to me and saying, my dad's a big football fan, you know, it's football for my old man. And I actually would have played a game that morning. Yeah, because it was pretty sure it was a Saturday that this whole thing took place. I would have played football that morning. And my dad just kind of leans over to me when he sees Lesnar walking down kind of the aisleway, and he's like, I wouldn't mind him at centre half back for Hawthorn. Because, you know, like, even though we were fucking 8 rows or whatever from the roof, you could see just the fucking the mass of humanity that Brock Lesnar is. He looked fucking huge from 8 rows from the roof. He looked enormous. And so I remember it fondly. August 10. Every year I have a bit of a giggle to myself one funny thing that happened actually was at the end. Me, my dad, and my brother were walking back to the car, and we're crossing a road, but we sort of stop because there's a bus coming out from like underneath the stadium, and it sort of pulls up. The bus driver to check left and right, and the bus is full of the wrestlers. And so we're standing on the corner there, and there's other people as well, and they kind of look up and they see some of the wrestlers, and they're just like, oh wow, wave and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know if I remember any of the wrestlers waving back. Maybe one or two of them did, but I just remember them all that was sitting, at the window seat where we could see them. They all just looked tired. They just couldn't be fucked. It's like they just wanted to fucking go home or go to bed or something like that. They probably flew into the country fucking less than 24 hours earlier, so they're probably all jet lagged, and then had to perform for fucking 60,000 people. So they probably were just tired. But I just remember that being kind of funny. They just couldn't be fucked, waving to fans. They just I guess they gave them kind of the obligatory like little kind of wave or whatever, but yeah, for the most part, they just looked tired. Like they couldn't wait to just fucking lay down and go to bed. I think Edge was one that I saw. I think he was maybe the only one I can remember really seeing. But yeah, I don't think he waved. And I mean, I didn't wave either. I was too cool for school. I was 18 years old, and I wasn't going to fucking like wave like a little schoolgirl at the busload of wrestlers. I looked up and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, the wrestlers. It reminded me a little bit of that episode of The Simpsons where there's that yo-yo team that go to the Springfield Elementary and do a little sort of show for the kids, and then their manager or boss or whatever just kind of like ushers them into this fucking little van, and they're just like squashed up in this little van. But anyway, yeah, August 10 every year, I remember it fondly. The global warming tour. Global warning. There was a bit of a global warming was all the rage back in 2002, and they called the tour the Global Warning Tour. So clever. But yeah, was a good night. I've never gone to any other wrestling event since. I think my brother went to the big one that was at the MCG like a year or two ago. But I stopped watching wrestling back in like 2005, I believe it was. I watched it religiously every week from around about probably 1998-ish, 1997 maybe, until like 2005. When Eddie Guerrero sadly passed away is when I kind of stopped watching wrestling, because it was going downhill a little bit before then anyway. Wrestling's the kind of thing where there's like peaks and troughs, and I don't watch it now. From what I see of it now, it looks rubbish, and I'm much more into kind of like MMA and the UFC and all that sort of stuff now, but which I think is it's a little bit of a natural progression, I think, for a lot of kind of wrestling fans. But yeah, don't watch it anymore. I think I heard something the other day as well that it's actually kind of, with this whole sort of COVID outbreak around the world, all the sports, including the sport that isn't really a sport, professional wrestling, are performing in front of like no crowds, and apparently they're having some of their worst ratings ever. Like they're kind of slipping a bit and slipping fast. So it makes you kind of wonder if professional wrestling is even going to be a thing in the next decade or so. There's that other promotion, AEW, which I don't really know much about. I just know that Chris Jericho's there, and that orange guy who puts his hands in his pockets and doesn't really throw any punches or anything like that. He manages to get out of trouble by just sort of flying around and rolling around. Orange Cassidy, that's his fucking name. But yeah, it was going downhill when I stopped watching, and I thought, yeah, and one of the big players, Eddie Guerrero, he was good. He passed away, and I thought, you know what, now's probably the time to give it up, and so I did, and never really watched it since. I sometimes go down YouTube rabbit holes of kind of old wrestling stuff from the good old days, the Attitude Era. So I look at those every now and then and reminisce and have a bit of a laugh, but from what I see of it now, it just doesn't really cut it for me anymore. You're listening to the Non-Essential Podcast, or TNEP, hosted by me, Matty K. Lockdown 2.0. We're all in this together. If you guys are looking for some ideas on what food you can have in lockdown, at a time like this, we can only have one person from a household go to the supermarket. I think that's what it is, isn't it? A day. But if you're looking for foods that can kind of fill you up, one that I would suggest is peanuts. Peanuts. I had some before. I had about half a cup, and this cup I think is like 400 mils. So I had about 200 mils worth of peanuts, and that's all I generally need when I have these peanuts, because like I said, they fucking fill you up. Peanuts are great for making you full very quickly, but with very minimal effort. They, like I said, half a cup of peanuts, and I'm fucking good for the next 6 hours, I reckon. These were Foresters, I think is the name of the brand. Foresters salted peanuts, and they were very salty. I really appreciate that in a peanut. And I think on top of filling you up, they've got like 4 stars on the Health Star rating, so that's a positive as well. They're good for you, peanuts. I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's actually Google this. They burn fat. So if you're looking for some weight loss tips, and you're lazy, and you don't want to go for a run or go for a walk or lift weights or put your body through some stress in order to lose weight, just fucking eat some peanuts. Let's have a look. They're a legume, by the way. They're in the legume family. Let's scroll through and see if we can find nutritional value. Here we go. They give you a fair bit of energy, carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins, minerals. Peanuts are rich in essential nutrients, unlike this show, which is the Non-Essential Podcast. In a 100-gram serving, peanuts provide 570 calories and are an excellent source of several B vitamins, vitamin E, several dietary minerals, fiber. They're good for a lot of fucking shit. Some studies show that regular consumption of peanuts is associated with a lower specific risk of mortality from certain diseases. However, the study designs do not allow cause and effect to be inferred. Okay, I don't really know what that means, but anyway, they're pretty fucking good, I'm pretty sure. Hang on, we've got health concerns, allergies, okay. That's about all they really have on that particular point, but I'm pretty sure that peanuts burn fat. So let me just write peanuts into Google. Peanuts burn belly fat, which a lot of us could probably do with. I know I could. Yes, you read that right. Despite their high fat and calorie content, peanuts could actually help in promoting weight loss. Even though they are relatively high in calories, the rich fiber and protein content in peanuts could help in increasing satiety and can make you feel full for longer, which is basically what I was just fucking saying. So satiety, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but basically what that means is that it makes you full, it makes you feel full, you're satiated, meaning, I'm not hungry. So keep that in mind, people. If you're looking to just buy something cheap in these next 5 weeks to keep you not feeling too hungry, and you're also looking to lose a bit of weight, which a lot of us are, probably most of us, keep it in mind. Peanuts, they burn belly fat. You're listening to the Non-Essential Podcast, hosted by me, Matty K, a complete and utter moron who is not essential to anyone in any way, shape or form. Keep listening. I'm literally just talking now to fill in time. I've gone 20 minutes, but I feel as though 20 minutes is kind of like bordering on pointless. So I feel like I got to go at the very least 25 minutes on these things. And you're probably saying to yourselves, if you've bothered to fucking listen, you're probably saying, Matty, they've all been pointless so far. It's been the boringest fucking, like, so this is episode 8, and the few hours now of my life that I have spent listening to your fucking shit podcast that you're doing every day that is unplanned. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know what you're saying. You're putting me to sleep. The whole thing's been pointless. Well, look, fuck you for a start, and we're gonna keep doing it. One thing, I'm kind of with you a little bit. I've just completely made this person up too, by the way. No one has actually said this to me, but I'm sure people have kind of thought it. Maybe that, no one's expressed it to me thus far. So, anyway, and hopefully they don't, because that would probably hurt my feelings. But what the fuck was I going to say? Look, I have had those thoughts over the last week and a day where I'm saying to myself, man, this is fucking pointless. No one's listening. You're fucking shit. You're not preparing anything. This would be so much better if you actually sat down and prepared for a few hours a day. But who can really be fucked doing that, even though I've got nothing but time on my hands right now? One thing, though, that I was thinking sort of before I started recording tonight, I was sort of saying to myself, I was having those thoughts. I was like, this is pointless. Everyone's going to hate it. No one's going to listen anyway. And even if they do, they're going to hate it. You might as well just quit now. Not even while you're ahead, because you're not ahead. All that self-doubt that can sometimes creep into your mind. And then I thought to myself, you know what? No matter how bad these episodes are, like, if I managed to do this for 42 days, you could take the worst of those episodes over the 42 days and it would still be much more entertaining to listen to than Big Brother this year was to watch. Now, I didn't watch any of Big Brother. I will admit, I don't know why they keep kind of reviving this show. I think is it over or is it still going? I think it's over now. Who won? Who was even on the show? I don't fucking know. I kept seeing, ads and all this shit for it when it was on, and I was like, I don't reckon anybody out there gives a fuck about Big Brother anymore. Not even the family members of the housemates. I don't reckon they're even watching the show. So if I could wish for anything, I think, in the coming year or years, it would be for no more series of Big Brother. Big Brother died in the arse many years ago, really. It was only It was only alright when it was on Channel 10, and even then it was maybe... they maybe had, the first 3 seasons maybe were good, and then it just went to shit, and that's why it went from... It's on its 3rd channel now, isn't it? It started on Channel 10, and then I think it went to Channel 9 for a couple of years, and now it's on Channel 7. That's all you really need to know right there. No one's watching this show. No one gives a fuck about Big Brother. I don't even see anymore on the news feeds of my socials people wanting to be on this show. Whereas back in the day, I would see everyone who thought they were a fucking sick cunt saying, posting like, oh, should I apply for Big Brother, or just apply for Big Brother? No one gives a fuck. No one wants to be on it. No one cares. Just like nobody cares about this podcast. Yeah, let's all agree. I'll stop making these when you stop making Big Brothers, I think is what I'm getting at. Because no matter how shit these episodes are, I stand by the fact that this is still way more entertaining than Big Brother.
You're listening to the Non-Essential Podcast with Maddie K. Help.
Alright, I think we've gone about 25 minutes now. It's time to wrap it up. Time to wrap up day 8 of Lockdown 2. This is the Non-Essential Podcast with me, Maddie K. Again, brought to you by COVID-19 and the Andrews government. We are in lockdown. We are under house arrest, people. Alright? It's really hard. It really hasn't been that hard thus far, not for me anyway. I was going to start talking about something else, but I thought maybe I'll save that for tomorrow, because I don't really, I have nothing planned for any of these days, so maybe I cut my losses and I quit while I'm ahead, and I save what I was going to talk about now for tomorrow, because I can at least then go to sleep knowing that I've at least got something for tomorrow. But anyway, as always, hit me up if you want to talk about something, if you want me to talk about something, if you want to jump on one of these episodes with me and break up the monotony of just hearing my voice, then hit me up. If you're someone that I think I can maybe have a conversation with for half an hour, we can do it. We can line it up. Let's get interactive. Let's all band together and help each other out through this lockdown, and just have as much fun and as much of a laugh, I guess, as we can. That's all we really can do, isn't it? Laughter is the best medicine. Penicillin was a pretty good discovery, and many different there's many different sort of just over-the-counter medicines that are pretty good too, but laughter's a pretty good one as well, and it's free, and we can give it to each other on a daily basis. So hit me up. Let's all get together and have a fucking fun time while we can. Anyway, yabba dabba doo. I don't know why I just said that. It just literally came into my head. This is Fred Flintstone signing off.